Knee pain primer, and sort of how I view knee pain in my experience so far as a powerlifter, as a coach helping people with their injuries. One of the things that it's like following a formula, well, not a formula, but following an algebra problem where you're trying to figure out like what hurts and what doesn't. It's a very simple way of looking at it, and sometimes it's obvious, and you probably do this stuff. But you got to dig a little deeper in trying to figure out like what makes it worse and what makes it better. Which one of the things I look at when I train clients is I look at which way people shift when they squat. It's very common people to squat when they squat, especially when they go below parallel, to shift more to the left, more to the right. And typically you're not really shifting, you're actually turning. You're like turning your body to the left, or you're turning your body to the right. You're corkscrewing up and down. And that can cause the knees to kind of cave in a little bit more on one side than the other. And it's trying to be symmetrical with both sides, you have to realize. So if you are able to work better by keeping your body in more proper alignment and keeping the weight even, are you going to be able to minimize knee pain? You know, a lot of the time, sometimes, like what I've noticed recently from using knee sleeves and using compression pants, is that all I really needed to kind of help get me through some knee problems was some proprioception, having some contact with my skin, and that seemed to alleviate a lot of the problems I had been having. Another thing also is simply just taking the time to mobilize the hips, so that way my knees don't do funky things. Squatted heavy today, and one of the things that I noticed is as I was going downstairs, my right knee started bothering me. And usually it's my left knee that bothers me. So it's a different kind of pain. It's really hard to describe, at least right now it is. And if you don't have my experience and you don't have my background or education, you're just going to have to guess and check. You have to determine what's going to make it worse, what's going to make it better, and that's really all you can really do as you gather more information, as you watch videos like this, as you watch mobility WOD and different mobility videos, or watching stuff about knee pain and just understanding the issue. If it's anything with itis, like tendonitis, quadricep tendonitis, or any type of like itis, that in a very simple way of saying things, it means I don't know. If you go to a physical therapist or a doctor, they'll give you their best guess. And the truth is that if you have knee pain, it's pretty much, especially if you're into powerlifting and strength training, it's going to be really up to you to decide whether or not, you know, if you should continue or not. And lots of the times, you should be able to do everything just fine as far as when it comes to lifting weights. You may not be able to lift heavy. You just have to realize that if you're having a problem, that doesn't mean you can't do anything. And it's the best thing I've noticed when it comes to knee pain is simply just to move around, and that's squatting, that's keeping up with my training. Because a lot of the time what I found is that not squatting actually makes me at a higher risk, because when I start to go to heavier weights, I end up basically being out of practice. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to grease the groove of a good motor pattern. And how do you know what a good motor pattern is? Well, a motor pattern that doesn't cause pain, a motor pattern that doesn't cause pain after the fact or in the joint, tells you that you did okay. It tells you that you did alright. If you have knee pain after the fact or during, it means there's something wrong with your motor pattern. And it's not like, oh, if A plus B equals C. It's really more like, this is what I noticed in my training. I squatted this much. It felt like this. And these are things that you have to take note of yourself. And a lot of the stuff that I'm talking to you about is, in truth, something that most people are not willing to deal with. If their back starts to bother them when they deadlift, their knee starts to bother them when they squat, if their hip starts to bother them when they squat, if their shoulder starts to bother them when they bench, a lot of the time they just give up. They can't figure it out. And everything that I've learned so far is that if you keep looking, you're going to find something. And this is what I found when it comes to the knee, is that you just have to find what doesn't hurt. And one of the things that help the best is simply box squatting on a box, squatting higher, squatting with one leg to a partial range of motion with stability, anything to do to build the muscles around the knee. Because the truth of the body is that if you make it stronger, if you train it, you will make it stronger. If you train it in bad motor patterns, you will cause more pain over time. If you train it in good motor patterns, you will be better and stronger over time. And I hope you sort of got this video in a conceptual manner. It's kind of the way I view knee pain. On another video, I'll talk more about sort of what you can do to fix things. I've made some recordings of some stuff with voodoo floss bands and hip circle, which will be coming up soon. But leave a comment below. I'd like to know how your knee pain feels, and maybe we can trade notes, because I don't have all the answers, but I got ideas. And everyone out there is in a different situation, and I think it'd be kind of cool to just, maybe if you've had knee pain, how did it go away? Did it just go away by magic? Because I swear to God, that's how it works out sometimes. Or did you do something? Did you take something? Did you do a band? Use a band? Did you use a brace? Anyways, I'd like to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.